Through advice from experts, simple games, and educational demonstrations, you're going to learn some tools in this short video to help keep your family safe in case of a fire. Hi, it's Miss Becky with the Madison Library. Today we're going to talk about fire safety. Schools have monthly fire safety drills, but do you at your home? Do you know what to do if there's a fire? Do your children know what to do? Today, we're going to hear some advice from an expert and learn some tips and activities that you can do to reinforce fire safety skills with your children and your family. Lisa Valadie is the community educator for the Madison Fire Department, and she encourages families to work together and develop a fire safety plan.
It's at home where we are so vulnerable because our alarms may be older than 10 years old. We haven't practiced an escape plan. We may be sleeping. And you have got to practice your escape plan at home. I mean, figure out, is there anybody in the household that's not going to be able to get out on their own? And this could be a baby or a small child. This could be someone who's bedridden and is unable to get out. So what are you going to do with them?
Like Lisa said, first and foremost, you need an escape plan. Look for the best ways to escape from your home and from each room and go over those ideas with your family. Decide on a meeting place outdoors if you all are separated when you escape from the fire. That way, you will know that everyone is accounted for. Once you have an escape plan in place, practice it regularly. Lisa tells us some important things to do when you realize there's a fire in your home. You shouldn't just open a bedroom door, walk out, and head to the meeting place. It may not be safe outside your door. First, Lisa says, test the door with the back of your hand.
You touch the door with the back of your hand. You don't want to touch it with the palm of your hand because if it's really hot and you burn this, it's going to hurt to crawl out. So check it with the back of your hand, and if it's hot, don't open it. Okay. If it's not hot, you can open it a little bit and see if there's a lot of smoke out there. If you see fire out there, is it clear for you to go out? But if you find yourself trapped and you can't get out, you want to get as close to the floor as you can because we know the smoke rises. And you'll have some clean air about 3 feet off the ground. I always tell people either sit by a window or sit by a door because that's where the firefighters, they're going to come in. If you go by a window, you can open the window and let the firefighters know that's where you are, and take blankets or sheets or pillows and put along the bottom of the door to keep the smoke from coming into your room.
Be sure to tell your children that if they're stuck in a room by themselves, don't hide in a closet or under the bed. Sit down low by the window, as Lisa said. If children hide, they won't be able to be seen and rescued by the firefighters. Another thing that is important to know is what to do if you catch on fire. Make sure everyone in your house is familiar with the saying, stop, drop, and roll. If you are on fire and you take off and run, you are adding more oxygen to the fire, making it grow. By stopping, dropping, and rolling, you suffocate the fire. Lisa tells us another tip if, say, just your arm is on fire.
Say your arm is on fire, you've reached across the stove and your sleeve has caught on fire. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. You could get a dish towel or something and just once again just try to suffocate the flames to keep the rest of your clothes from catching on fire. But you don't want to run, you don't want to wave it. You want to do what you can, stay still, get on the floor, roll around, or find a towel or blanket to roll up in.
Those are some life-saving tips, but there's some other things that your children need to know as well. They need to know your address and a family phone number. What if they're separated from you? They need to know where you are and how to contact you. Or maybe a little bit older child will be the one to call the police or the fire department, and they need to know your location. Also, your child needs to know how to dial 911. Let them practice punching numbers on your phone and make sure that 911 is a number that they know is only for emergencies. Also, you need to test your smoke alarm. Make sure your children hear it so that they know that that is the sound that means that there's a fire. But how do you reinforce these things in an age-appropriate way? I have some ideas for you that are fun and that can benefit preschool children and older school children. One easy way to teach your children to crawl down low is to play a game of bubble escape. Blow some bubbles in the air a few feet high and have your children crawl under them. Have them crawl quickly so the bubbles don't land on them. That way they'll learn to actually move towards their destination in a low fashion, and moving quickly is important too. Another way to reinforce crawling down low is to do the blanket crawl. You can get other family members and hold a blanket a few feet high and have the child crawl under it like it's a limbo. That's a lot of fun too. Now, if your child has a dollhouse, you can pretend that the dollhouse is on fire and that the figurines inside have to escape. And you could figure out the plan and how they meet outside and have them reinforce how they have to touch the door with the back of the figure's hand. And you could do all kinds of things that could reinforce fire safety with your children. Also, the figures could stop, drop, and roll. Those are just some fun ways that you can reinforce these fire safety skills with your preschool children. Let's help elementary school children understand the science behind fire with a few simple demonstrations. We've learned that using the stop, drop, and roll technique is a way to save lives by cutting off the oxygen supply to the fire. We can show our elementary-age children that a fire needs oxygen to continue to burn by doing a simple demonstration with a candle and a mason jar. Put a mason jar over your lit candle. This cuts off the oxygen supply to the candle, and the candle eventually goes out. A fire needs fuel to burn. The fuel could be in the form of logs in a campfire, gas from the stove, the wood from a house, and so on. To show how a fire needs fuel to burn, I took a simple birthday candle and stuck it in some clay. I lit the candle and let it burn until the fire went out. Explain to your child that once the wax of the candle burned completely, there was no more fuel to feed the fire. From this demonstration, the children learn that if you remove a fire's fuel, it will go out. We all want to keep our family safe. Lisa gave me a link that I put on this Facebook post for more helpful tools to educate and prepare your family for a fire. Be sure to thank the men and women of our fire departments for educating us and for putting their lives on the line to rescue us. Be safe and practice your escape plan.